Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Appreciate y'all. For whoever that's tuned in right now, appreciate y'all right now. Y'all said y'all want us to go back live, and that's what we're doing. So, without further ado, let's do the drops.
What did she say?
Hit the like button.
Period. Yeah, tell my girl she did a good job when you get home.
All right, y'all, man. So, let's see. We got some whoever we got in the comments. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? All we ask y'all to do is when y'all come in here, share it out to anybody who ain't got nothing to do. They can listen to this. In the background, y'all should like it. And then while we're already here, opening up, guys, what we are thinking of doing, because we want this to be an immersive experience. We are thinking about bringing the live show to Patreon, because Patreon you can go live. So we're thinking about having it more exclusive on Patreon, where you guys can do a little bit more with us. On top of, we don't have to worry about getting copyrighted. We can play whatever we want and all the other stuff. If that's something y'all interested in, let us know in the chat. And then also, if y'all would be interested in joining Patreon for stuff like that, please let me know, because we're trying to figure out different ways to get it popping. And there's a lot of stuff that YouTube limits to us. Now, granted, I do have a Kick that I started. So this is the second time streaming to Kick. So if you're watching us from Kick, whenever you see this, I appreciate y'all. But let's go ahead and get into, let me see, what was I talking about earlier? I'm gonna start it off, and then we'll get into whatever topics we may have. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. I think one of the ones I was talking about was you're supposed to remind me.
No, I'm terrible. We talked about a lot of good things. I don't know.
So I know one of the things I wanted to talk about was knowing what you don't know is a good skill.
For sure.
And this is for the people, and I'm going to actually do a reaction video to this. There's a longer video that I saw by like a recruiter I follow on YouTube that makes like a lot of good content. And he was talking about all these AI resumes and everything else. And the reason why I'm saying that is, if anybody has ever worked with me on the coaching level, typically if I talk to you in the past or I've gave you any advice in the past, what I tend to do is go through, I spin a block through my inbox, and I just see how you doing, you got a job, you didn't, what's going on, what's working, what's not. And so I was reaching out to a person, which I don't know if they ever become a client. We did a consult a while back, and I told that person that, hey, you really don't need any more certifications. It's really your resume, your LinkedIn, and your whole strategy related to getting to a job. That person really didn't listen to that. They went and got some more Certs. What was it? It's some good certs now. Don't get me wrong. And then we continued to talk, and they sent me their updated resume. And I looked at it, I was like, matter of fact, let me see, because I'm a person, y'all know me, I don't like to cap. So I can find out exactly what I said back to the resume right here. I could read it out verbatim. And anybody should know. Why is he asking me this now? Go find the link. Go find the link, sir. Let's see. Where is he at? All right. So he does watch the show, so he may or may not get mad at this, but this is what I couldn't say because we didn't talk on the phone about this. He went and got some more certs. So he sent me the updated resume. He got the CCZT, which I don't really know what that is. You can look it up while I'm doing this thing. CC Charlie Zulu Tango. That's what it is. He was just talking about probably moving out here because the job market where he is sucking. So I told him, when I looked at the resume, I said, hey, you got a good foundation there, but some stuff is missing and it's too much white space on the resume. And I said something about, we talked a while ago about getting some coaching, or he said interested. And so this would like have me a little bit perturbed, because he said this resume has been looked over by 4 different LLMs. And in my mind, I was like, what that's supposed to mean to me? And then he said, I'm not buying anything without guaranteed results. If I buy OSCP and OSEP and pass, I know I get those certifications. Any coaching guidance or course can't even guarantee me an interview or connections. I'm going to keep upping my skills and getting advanced offensive certifications. I'll brute force my way into a better role by sheer credentials.
I'm screaming.
Just have to make my profile.
But I'm a brute force my way in.
I just told him, right, and I said, the only thing I can't guarantee you is getting hired, because I don't control that. But I've never not had anybody immediately seeing uptick in proper emails and getting interviews right after working with me. Like literally, I got some guys that only had the experience he has that's currently in interview processes. And I was saying, I said also LLMs don't know everything. If you did,
It doesn't matter if you ran it through 56 LLMs. What is the prompt
Right.
you're using?
no, I'm not even that. Don't even worry about the prompt. I said if it did know everything, you would be getting more responses. So I'm saying it to say like everybody thinks they can just AI themselves like out of like getting jobs, stuff like that. But sometimes that really ain't gonna help you. You got to go to a person that know how to write resumes, that also knows how to prompt AI to help with the resume if you need help in that way, and can look at it. Because also, LLMs will just throw stuff on the job, like your resume, and it don't make sense when you read it back. The video that I'm talking about reacting to is talking about how the recruiter was talking to a guy who was hiring for like a software developer role or something like that, but they found like 10 or 12 resumes that looked completely the same, and they really didn't make sense, and they were too much like the job description.
But just because the LLM can give you some good output doesn't mean that it's gonna look different, because people know what an AI written resume looks like, and you don't know, because how would you know?
So
not you, but
yeah,
how would you know? How would you know that your resume reeks AI wrote this?
but the thing is, it's not even effectively like AI written resume. It's just missing things, missing impact. It's missing metrics.
Mm-hmm.
It don't read like a person that, hold on, who is this? We should stop and talk to this person. It doesn't read like that. And so when I said, hey, it's missing some stuff, it's missing some stuff. So when I have consults and I say, okay, like tell me, I do one or two things on the call. I either say, tell me about the stuff that you kind of achieved in the role, or I'll say, after this call, send me all the stuff you achieve, all things you know how to do, whatever. And I try to make it align, because he also has a lot of different certs that they don't go necessarily with the job he's trying to get.
And that cert that he got was the Certificate of Competence in Zero Trust by the Cloud Security Alliance.
Yeah, because he's a cloud security engineer, but some of the certs I think he could have removed because they don't make sense on his resume anymore either. But I didn't tell him that because like, hey, come get it from the source. Like, find out from me on what you need to do. So I don't know. That's just my little one-time rant. We'll probably have some more stuff that I get into when it talks about career coaching, between that and investing in yourself and investing with a person that you can just go back and look over the 6 years what I'm about. I think that's what you should focus on if you think about working with me. But while we are here, let me go ahead and read off the topics real quick. Give me a second.
I got it.
No, I got the I got to put the graphic up on here real quick. Close. Okay, so guys, some of our major topics today will be about CISA had no IR playbook. Apple, of course, is suing OpenAI. Meta's AI in your camera roll. The bag on who's actually getting paid, and Cash App in the 45 M's. And if you just got here and you like what we're talking about, hit the thumbs up button. That's all you got to do. But I think, do you want to go through the CISA thing, or you want me to go through it?
I can eat this up again.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So CISA wrote the playbook during the incident. So this is the story of the week. CISA, the U.S. government cybersecurity agency, the one whose entire job is to defend the federal networks, has just published a post-mortem on an incident from back in May. And buried in that report is a sentence that made me and HD sit straight up. So they said they had their staff, that their staff had to spend time building an incident response plan playbook during the early stages of the incident. So what that means is that they did not have a playbook in place, a response plan in place that they could follow, and they were building it as the incident basically unfolded. Now, during the incident, I don't know, that's just insane to me. The more I think about it, it's just insane. Everybody knows that is the most basic thing to do, is to have some sort of stop or response playbook that you know what to do. But an incident response playbook is basically the pre-written game plan. If X were to happen, here's exactly who you need to call. Here's who has authority to shut things down. Here are the first 5, 6, whatever it may be, however many things that you need to do. So you write it up, right? on a calm Tuesday so that on the worst day of your career, you're not making it up. You don't want this to be a fire drill. It's basically your emergency exit map on the back of your door. So CISA's post-mortem says, yeah, we're drawing the exit map while people were already in the hallway. How did it happen? Back in May, security journalist Brian Krebs reported that a researcher at a firm called GitGuardian found a public GitHub repository, public as in anyone on the internet could see it, that had been uploaded by an employee of a CISA contractor, and it was full of credentials and keys for accessing US government systems. GitHub is where developers store and share code, so think Google Drive, but for software. A public repo means that there was no lock on that door, and credentials and keys are really just the digital equivalent of the keys to a building or the alarm code that's written on a sticky note, something like that. Now, the researcher tried to alert the contractor. Of course, there were crickets. Nobody got back to them. It wasn't until Krebs, who was a reporter, contacted CISA directly that the agency pulled the repo down and rotated all of those credentials that had been exposed. And CISA says something else in the post-mortem that I think that the actual headline would imply. They admitted that their channels for security researchers to report problems were not well defined. And that's kind of common in a lot of organizations. They are afraid to admit it. So if we put the whole picture together, a researcher found the fire, couldn't find anyone to talk to, had to go through the press, and then when the agency finally moved, they were writing the response plan at that time in real time. Now, I do want to be clear about this. CISA did publish this information themselves. They didn't get caught. They were responsible and self-reported kind of what was going on. They did state that no it was exposed. They thanked the researcher and the reporter for giving them the information. And since then, they have, made some improvements to their reporting channels. But I feel like the transparency here is that they were honest about kind of what they faced. They were honest about the fact that they didn't already have a response plan in place. A lot of professionals and organizations would have really buried some of those key details. But I think that the lesson sitting right in front of us is that you need to make sure that you have these type of plans in place. And you also need to be doing different type of drills so that you understand when something does happen before it happens, this is kind of what we should do. These are the steps that we should take. A lot of the times, folks don't practice this, in a tabletop scenario. And then when an incident happens, everybody's kind of frantic because this is their first time having to actually follow that response plan. And then also making even updates to the response plan as well. Like just because you had it in place 10 years ago doesn't mean that same response plan is relevant today. So, yeah, I think that there were 3 gaps revealed. First gap, there were secrets in code. So hard coding those credentials, we know that especially into a repo is one of the most common mistakes. We talked about this last week. We also have third-party risk is still the underbelly here. And then the vulnerability disclosure is broken down at most organizations. So again, a lot of folks are finding vulnerabilities, but they might not have a good way to contact that organization to let them know, hey, this is what we found. And so in this situation, they had to go to the press because there was not a clear way for them to contact the company or to report said vulnerability. So being prepared is always better than being unprepared.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that we didn't have the right mics on. So it was using this mic. So there's like, it sounded like we was talking in the fishbowl. So I'm low key.
Oh, did we fix it?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay, good.
I'm thinking like, yo, do we got to go back to the beginning? Let me ask them, hey, put a 1 in the chat if you want me to go back on a little bit of what I said in the beginning, because I know y'all probably couldn't hear me that good. But to get on what you're talking about with CISA, it goes to show about those budgets and how they ain't had a director for a year. And not only that, even if they ain't had a director a year, something like that, they still should have had some type of playbook or process about it. And it also just goes back when I always talk about like the government agencies, how to me, outside of the clearances, all the stuff they do is old, it's very lax, it's very easy. Lee literally just sent me a message about like, yeah, these gov roles are a joke. Because a guy posted a role from GDIT and said, hey, I've been there, done that. This role was a joke. And every time somebody said they was interested, he said, if you don't want your brain to get smoother, I suggest like going to find something else. So I don't know, man. So I don't know if they heard my drops earlier. So let me go back to them real quick. If y'all in the chat, you know what I'm saying, hit the like button.
You are now watching the TechTual Talk, hosted by AC and Cybershortieee. Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, man. Hit the my girl said y'all watching the show and y'all got to hit the like button. So just do what they ask. They young, so respect the ladies.
I just can't believe that there was no incident response plan at all.
You'll be surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. I'll say that. I'm surprised that it's CISA. I'm not surprised that it happened, but I'm surprised that it's them. They didn't have anything. Like, that is so, I'm panicking like I'm them in the heat of the moment. Like, that's a lot of stress. Building the plan out, I don't.
Yeah. Like I say, you'll go to companies and you talk to them, you do interviews like, yeah, we're trying to mature XYZ. And you be like, hold on, y'all got billions of revenue. Y'all trying to mature what? And so it just goes to show you that it's never too late to start learning something. I was briefly telling Shorty before we recorded that, hey, there are companies that are still on-prem going to the cloud. Specifically, I'm going to tell you, I've come across a lot of companies that are Microsoft shops. Learn Azure, learn some of the Microsoft security tools. You'll be surprised on what you will be able to do, because a lot of people that have the companies, they don't know how to use it either.
Azure is a beast. I'm not going to lie.
I think it's fairly simple. It reminds me of
It's
Windows.
not difficult, but there are a lot. Well, I won't say it's not difficult. It depends on what you're trying to do, but Azure is a big tool. They can't hear me?
Talk.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay, cool. Somebody saying, was your mic on? I don't know, but I moved it closer to you. You should. You got the same volume I got, so
okay.
You should be good. But
no incident. I'm still there at the playbook. I'm having a hard time with that.
Yeah,
because in school we learn we learn what goes into an incident response plan. You learn what resources you can use to build your own incident response plan at organizations. So I don't.
Yeah,
nobody ever. They never had an incident.
That's what I'm saying. Because even let's take it off of.
They have had an incident because we've talked about them before.
Like, even if they do that, a simple one that's not as big as that is something like when you have to rotate like your AWS keys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much similar thing, but it might be slightly different.
Secrets in public repos.
Because these people are not qualified to do their jobs. And and
clearly they're not using a tool to scan those repos to let them know about said vulnerabilities.
Yeah. And
or risk.
They make your interview harder than your actual job. That's what I gotta say about that. Let's see, where are we? Let's go into what this episode is titled real quick. Where are we? All right, so Apple is suing OpenAI. So we're going from the government to a good old-fashioned corporate showdown. Apple has filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, trade secret theft, and a breach of contract. With that said, the complaint is spicy. Apple filed in the Northern District of California, and they're not framing this as a couple of bad apples, pun intended. They're alleging a pattern, and they're alleging it was directed from the top. They named OpenAI's chief hardware officer, Tang Tan, who, in this detail that makes the whole thing land, spent 24 years at Apple, most recently as a VP of product design for the iPhone and Apple Watch. What does the complaint accuse him of? Using Apple's confidential internal project code names during OpenAI's recruiting process, asking job candidates to bring Apple hardware components with them to interviews, coaching departing Apple employees on how to get around Apple's own security procedures, and asking for details about unannounced products. Apple's whole culture is secrecy. Internal projects get code names specifically so that even people inside the building don't know what they're working on. If those code names are showing up in a competitor's job interview, that's not a coincidence. That's a signal. There's a second person named, is that Chang Lu?
Yep.
Yeah, Chang Lu, 8 years at Apple as a senior systems electrical engineer. Apple alleges that he left for OpenAI in 2026, never returned his Apple-issued laptop. Hang on, where we at? And used it to download confidential technical documents, and that he shared Apple's confidential information with other Apple employees who were interviewing at OpenAI, including advising at least one of them what to study before the interview. Apple says they sent OpenAI a letter about this back in February. They say they got no response. And then there's a line from the filing that everybody's going to quote. Apple says, this is the tip of the iceberg. That's kind of scary. Now, here's the why now. OpenAI is widely rumored to be building its first hardware product. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo suggests back in April, it could be a smartphone, one where AI agents replace apps entirely, and OpenAI already bought Jony Ive's device startup IO for $6.5 billion last year. Ive, by the way, is not named in this filing. .io is. So Apple isn't just protecting IP. Apple is looking at a company that might be building a thing that competes with the iPhone. So for people that's listening, for trade secrets, confidential business information that gives you a competitive edge, designs, processes, supplier list, specs, unlike a patent, is protected by keeping it secret, not by registering it. Specific allegations, code names used in recruiting candidates asked to bring hardware components to interviews, departing employees evade security procedures, unreturned Apple laptop used to download confidential docs, a proprietary metal finishing technique allegedly used by OpenAI after a partner was misled into thinking Apple had approved it. Come on now.
That part.
Apple wants to bar OpenAI from using, disclosing the trade secrets, return of confidential materials, evidence preservation. Apple says it lacks visibility into what is happening inside of OpenAI. Court gives them the legal discovery, the power to compel documents and testimony. Sometimes the lawsuit is the investigation. So
I got some more tea there.
Okay.
So it looks like I want to get more to the show and tell detail. It's worse than reported. So Apple alleges that Tan directed candidates to bring actual parts, those parts being batteries, logic boards, and SIPs to interviews, and that OpenAI asked for CAD, design artifacts and prototypes, plus details on subsystem and component selection, integration tooling, and vendor selection. And I think that's insane. To an interview? You're clearly and are they not signing NDAs? Because you usually have to sign an NDA before you interview about how they won't use this, all this whatever. Huh?
OpenAI right now. Like, hold on. Where's the other one at?
And they're partners though, so it's really weird.
Dang, it's kind of low, but
you're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Is it?
That's Apple back to him.
No,
but
for real.
How you don't know I'm not supposed to take something from my company to another company interview?
No, how y'all using these? It's a lot going on.
And I'm trying to understand how were they? Okay, I got an idea how this went for the insider threat. Then did the guy never say he was gone, so he still had access to his Apple laptop?
Why did he not return the laptop?
That's what I'm saying.
Why did y'all let him not return the laptop? Why did you not wipe the laptop?
But this is what I'm saying though. He might have already downloaded something before he even said, I'm gone.
And that's why you need to have data security. This is why I do data security.
But they should know that.
This is why data security is important.
It's one of the things too, where people, we know how it works in corporate. If a person does a certain job, sometimes they get leeways to do things to where maybe they didn't have the data properties labeled the correct way on a device. And so they was able to download it.
But I think the scary part is that Apple is not just saying you stole our stuff or you took our stuff. You took our stuff and you took our people and you told them how to steal on the way out. That's insane.
Do you think ChatGPT helped them out with that?
I mean, yeah. Probably the head honcho.
I was being funny. Like, did they ask ChatGPT how they can steal their stuff from them?
I'm sure. Are we asking it everything else these days? And it's a 40-page complaint. That's insane. A laptop that never got returned and a guy who pretended like he didn't know the rules. You know what you is and you ain't supposed to do on that level.
Right.
Insider risk is real. Data security can help take care of that. Get into data security. If you want to get into data security, hit me up. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy. And so briefly for everybody that's coming in, I briefly was telling people about AI and how just because AI tells you, it reminds me of one time I had a client who put his interview through AI and it said he did well. But when I listened to it, I didn't hear the same thing. And so there is a bias of using AI that's mostly going to agree with you did well. That's why I like to use transcripts. So it can look at what's being said, not listening, but it can see what's said back and forth and see if it's actually good or not. Now,
I can't believe they didn't wipe the laptop.
I think it was, but you got to think about it though. The wipe only going to happen if it's going to connect to Apple's network.
Yeah, because it is.
So that's what I'm saying. If he got the job and then worked the job for a little bit and then said, like, think about it. The perfect scenario is
endpoint management is not my endpoint management is not my thing, but endpoint DLP is my thing.
Well, I'm saying it because we have to, like, if somebody immediately gets terminated or something like that, we got a playbook that we run through that we go contain the host and stuff like that. However, if you don't know the person being fired, the person decides to say, oh, I'm gonna take three weeks of PTO.
And then on top of it was the role, they were a VP. So because they were in that elevated position, there should have been some elevated things being done. Like they should have been looking back over the last 30, 60, 90 days to see what this person has been doing. But that should be a trigger.
Yes.
So the trigger was that you're leaving the company. That's the trigger to go then look back to see what have you been doing over the last few months with our data.
Yeah, that's RBA. But also though,
what's RBA?
Risk-based access.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, I'm lying. RBA stands for risk-based alerting. I said access. I was thinking about access and name, but that should have been an RBA rule because certain things, if it has certain type of severity, it shouldn't be downloaded.
That data. Exactly.
So it should have been,
especially in mass amounts. But also, I will say a lot of the times companies do be having this stuff in place, but the triggers, they be so high.
Nah, it shouldn't matter. Something like this, hey, the RBA rule, like confidential information being downloaded, not connected directly on Apple's network. Like you could be connected through the VPN, but if you're not directly plugged into the network,
but that would definitely be like a more of a DLP endpoint policy. Targeting that specific device.
Well, both. So on the blue team side, right? If we see a service account or somebody make some changes in the cloud that we didn't see in the 90 days, it very well could have happened 60 days ago. Mm-hmm. But because we didn't see it in 90 days, it'll trigger alert. And then that's why you got to go look at the history and see, is this actually expected or what? And a lot of times it's hard to do because most times based on what your logging would be, a lot of people only carry like 90 days worth of logs in their SIM.
1000%.
And you got to dethaw like anything else.
Yep.
But for him, it should have been immediately. For certain people, that guy I think might have been like high up there. Certain people there,
he was definitely high up there.
Those are the type of people that.
But he should be like a not a protected user, but like a, what's the word I'm looking
VIP?
For? Yeah. Yep.
But so here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that
or priority person. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that people like him, because I would do it if I was running stuff. People like him, I would definitely say, hey, on our execs, or these people that do specialized roles, advanced email monitoring on their emails.
But that's why it's important for the people who are managing the tools to, because just because you're VP, because VPs do feel like, well, I'm VP, I need to get this, and this, and this is important, and why you're supposed to give them a very granular permissions within your company, because they have the ability to wreak havoc on your environment. And I don't know if they have an insider risk tool in place, but it would have picked up on, it should have picked up on a lot of the things that were happening.
Yeah, of course. But we know how that is.
Yeah.
We definitely know how it is.
And just because you have the tool in place and it's on, don't mean it's configured best for your environment and your employees.
Yeah, and that's where the whole top-down approach goes from. Like I said, that's why I shouldn't be siloed, because you got your threat intel, you got your blue team, you got your insider threat people. They are supposed to be making stuff specifically for that. But like I said, I don't know if Buddy had I don't know. Like I would love to
to get more.
To
the
follow
story.
this, to figure out what happens when this hopefully goes to court. Like, no, would be cool. You know how like
it's confusing though, because they're also partners.
It don't matter.
I know.
What they say, keep your friends close,
but it's confusing because what does that do to the partnership? Because Apple Intelligence is powered by.
I mean, hey, they might start using Anthropic because you're trying to steal from me.
Offboarding is serious, and a lot of companies are not managing that process well.
At all. That goes into that.
And we can have a whole episode about that.
Yeah, Kendall, we were talking about how I'm not gonna say her company name, so it don't be like she was telling me something that happened at that company. But a very popular consulting company dealt with a security breach this week, and we were talking about how she foreshadowed some of the stuff happening because of things were made in the company that, hey, if you start using AI, it's going to increase your chances of getting promotion. And then we started talking about how a lot of companies do not have DLP protections and other type of protections for people using AI in the environment.
I know a lot of companies have a lot of things in audit mode because they're scared to block people.
Mm-hmm.
They scared to cause drama and chaos inside of the organization.
Yeah, for sure. While we were on that hot topic, what I actually wanted to do is, and let me go down here real quick. We'll go to scene 3.
While you doing that, y'all, who y'all think is in the wrong? Is Apple? Is they right for calling them out, or is OpenAI in the wrong? OpenAI know they wrong for that.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to some. Let's switch up the tempo. No Chris Brown real quick. And we're going to talk about something that y'all love to talk about. Entry level and cybersecurity. Let's talk about it.
Security was never meant to be entry level is the argument that I constantly hear all the time, and people are right, but for the wrong reason. The reason should not be you need to go pay your dues at help desk, although that is a great IT role to start in. So my sources include a SANS survey of around 900 global respondents. 56% of those people come from North America, which include hiring managers, leadership, and HR, the people that are looking at your resume. The second source is my personal experience working in the field. So reason one is always about money. Companies don't want to have to pay you to have the basic IT knowledge before you secure something. In reality, training costs money. They just want you to come in with the knowledge. One of the biggest hiring struggles they mentioned in the report is they struggle to hire senior, mid-level, and expert talent. So they're not fighting over the smartest junior. This unfortunately creates a problem that SANS calls the career progression problem. So what happens when your senior level wants to retire? And they will. So second reason is AI takes over monotonous work. For example, a junior inputting an IP into VirusTotal, I would call it automation, or analyzing a phishing email. Now we might just throw that work into AI, where they've seen thousands of juniors do it. But this also creates a secondary problem to this, where we have a junior that was learning the ropes by doing this type of monotonous work, and now you can't develop the logic needed to progress. And my third reason is cybersecurity. Honestly, I feel like it's a marketing term. People have been doing this before it was even called cybersecurity, which is why so many people come from various IT backgrounds. And 20 years from now, it'll probably be called something else.
That's a hot take. I respect Alex for that take. What you think about that? I know you got a lot to say on that, as in you had an unconventional rise to get into cyber.
I think that the way that the world is changing these days, it does make it less ideal for people who are actually starting out at a real, true, and honest entry level phase. We are seeing that those positions are kind of going away, or even the time and the knowledge and the skills and the experience that you gain in those roles, you're not able to gain because a lot of that is already being automated. And so a lot of the logic and a lot of the sense that you would make of, working in that type of role, you're not able to grasp it like you were in the past. And I don't think I think that's going to continue to get worse. And I think it just proves more of a fact of how important it is for you to be doing kind of your own thing, labbing in your own environment, because you might not get a chance to do a lot of the things that are entry level because it might be assigned, or automation might be taking that away from you. And I guess kind of like your experience. I don't know. It's rough out here. It's a lot going on.
So let me go back to me real quick. Yeah, I agree with her. Some instances, like me and her talk about this before. She's actually a client I just worked with in the past. She got a promotion, and we were talking about, and I'll get back to what she was talking about, but she was like, yo, why were you working on the blue team? The SOC, they think you're supposed to know everything. And it's one of the reasons why I tell people why it's so hard to sometimes just jump into it because of all the
Working in the SOC. Working in the SOC is
because all the domains you got to know about.
It's not always gonna be super entry level for you, because you do need to have some understanding of some basic things to be successful in the role.
Yeah, but
we got some comments.
Yeah, we'll get to them. I just saw somebody talking about healthcare IT. One of the things is, and this is one of the things I did in my talk with People Security, where we were talking about, of course, where some of the stuff can be automated with AI. However, the thing is, you still need to understand if AI was right. So
1000%.
There's going to be a human in the loop for a lot of this stuff, because you can't go to your board of trustees when if an incident happened, oh, we believe the AI was right. They ain't gonna care about that. It was like, so nobody checked if this is doing what it's supposed to do or not. And so all the different jobs can come from QA analysis of strictly just AI agents and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. And
it's literally just summarizing it for you, though. That's it. It's summarizing. You still have to go to each individual area, log, whatever it may be, and make sure, look at that file or whatever it may be, email, whatever it may be, and you still need to make reason and sense of that. So that triage piece the AI is doing, that's exactly what it is. It's just triaging it to tell you if it's high, medium, or low, so that you know where to kind of place your focus, but you still have to be the decision maker, like you said. It doesn't go through and solve everything like people think it does.
Yeah, and honestly, they're pretty much like moving people eventually like to tier 2. And tier 2, you're mostly going to handle stuff that was escalated.
Yeah.
And so the AI probably escalates something, and then that's when you're going to make sure it did what it was supposed to. Because a lot of stuff, I don't know if these agents are going to be.
And you have to give the agent feedback.
Yeah.
Because they're not always right. And sometimes it's going to flag stuff that's not important to you. So the feedback piece is also a huge piece in training the AI on what is norm for your organization.
Right. And honestly, number 2 is we don't know if, like you said, it's going to do it right. And I also was thinking about if it's dynamically doing something or statically doing something. So is it just taking stuff from the virus totals, the abuse IPs, the who is?
It should be dynamic.
And giving this at a high level, which, because like that's some of the automation there, because a lot of times you're going through checking a couple of sites to verify this information. Because if it's not dynamic and it's only static, then it's still going to be a human there. Because yeah, you could throw something in virus total and it says it's not good. However, when you dynamically run whatever the file is or whatever, it's gonna be bad. Like what was I working on? It was, I probably could have ran it through virus total, never known, but I was investigating something with ClickFix. It was so funny. And it was it didn't just directly come up with the ClickFix. It was like a caption. But I'm looking at this all in the Sandbox, guys. And I seen the ClickFix come out. I said, it's so funny. As many times we talked about ClickFix on the show.
Literally.
And then other stuff, like it reminded me of last week when we talked about the interview. The people, somebody got a phishing email when it's like, oh, download your invite. But when you download your invite, it's like Screen Connect and it's all this other background stuff doing that. Granted, I already knew that nobody should be seeing you like a .zip in the, it was either a batch file or something like that. But out of curiosity, I just ran it through some different sandboxes just to see what it was, because I had already downloaded it in the sandbox. So that was just funny to me. But you're still gonna have to know that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't rely on it because you're gonna have to explain it.
And I think that's also too why a lot of the times companies will try to sell you their full suite and stack, because everything that a company makes should be able to work together to give you the best insights on what happened in this incident. So for example, if you're a Microsoft house or you are a AWS house, all of the connections and all of the tools that you're using to that regard, if your environment is disconnected, what I'm trying to say is if your environment is disconnected, meaning you have a bunch of different vendors in your environment, all of those tools might not be able to communicate in the same way that they would if you were just using one vendor. So that also complicates, you understanding what's going on as well, because you have all these different siloed solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think lately I've been seeing now that that's not, it used to be like that, but more often times than not, now people let you connect whatever tool so you can have all type of telemetry, because if not, I mean, it's a smart way back in the day to say, oh yeah, you're going to have to get this tool and this tool and this tool, because that's why a lot of times you'll see somebody used to have back in the day have like McAfee EPO, and they would have all the different McAfee tools because Nitro, whatever they had with scanning stuff, all the different stuff they would have it because they was bundling up to the government, and it is what it is. But I just wanted to cover that because I thought that was a pretty interesting one when it came to that. And then while we are here, there was a Reddit, and I might as well cover it because I think it goes right into what we were talking about. Let me go here. Look at my save things. All right. And let me. All right. So this was a Reddit, guys. And if y'all still with me, let me know. I'm not looking at the chat right now. Entry-level cyber roles, please help. I apologize in advance for my lack of knowledge as I work in the healthcare field, and this is my own research to help my partner in the new grad cybersecurity world. He's currently finishing his master's in cyber due this December with no experience in the field yet. I'm coming to understand that IT help desk is essentially a rite of passage, and he's currently working on the cert that's required prior to graduation. Unsure which one. Besides what I already know, which is he probably needs to start an IT help desk role, what is your experience, your path, your advice? Thank you in advance from 2 first-gen kids trying to figure it out together. And then they added an edit to this post. They said, edit. Let me be clear in saying that this post is done purely for my own research to see if I can come across something that he is yet to. He's doing his own work and research, applying, studying, getting certs, looking into the market. He's not just a sitting duck thinking he'll land a job with no experience, which is why we're asking what routes you might have taken that have or haven't worked for, or what routes are best to take. This is interesting because I will say, as a person, if you have a master's degree, you are going to be overqualified for help desk.
Oof, imagine that.
You'll be
imagine that. Imagine you don't have no experience and you got a master's degree and you overqualified.
Because you know why? They know that this job is a placeholder. In time you get something you like, you'll be gone. So they might not
don't want to fool with you.
So you better off doing one or two things: taking off one of your degrees or taking off both degrees and acting like you ain't got
Nathaniel.
And then once you get the job, input them in the system back in Workday. Like just finesse the game if that's what you're going to do. But truth be told, if you're in a master's program, you should, and this is why we've talked about so many times about what school you go to get a master's at, because they should equip you with some great projects.
1,000%.
Whether they're group projects or solo projects that you could sell yourself to somebody to eventually at least get interviews, at the bare minimum interviews.
And also, I don't think that people are thinking about those projects. So your capstone, whatever it is, that is a project. Put that on your resume. I think that a lot of the time people don't look at their homework assignments as projects in the different tools. I don't think people are doing a good job with keeping up with their labs, because when you're in school and you're working, don't let you have a family and kids. You school differently. You school to get the lab done. You're doing the lab to get it done. You might not be doing the lab to learn the lesson. You might be just doing the lab to get it done. So you might not be paying attention and missing on some key technologies that you can add that you've used on your resume. So also keep that in mind. As you're working on your lab work in school, make sure you're keeping a running list of different labs and tools and things that you've done so that you can speak to it. Because you'll get in an interview and they'll ask you, have you done this? And you'll say, no, but you did. You did it in the lab. You just didn't think about it when you were doing the lab because you were trying to get it done.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, that's the difference between when you went to masters and I got a master's. I was already in the field. So some of the stuff don't apply to me, but I know that you had to go through the grind and say, I know I need to give me an internship. I know I need to do X, Y, Z. So granted, we had to take based on whatever she said that he may not have experience per se.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know that, but if you ever came across this video, because we read those words and it comes from your YouTube homepage, he needs to get a internship as soon as possible. There still should be some he probably can do in the fall. He needs to do that. Or learn how to solve problems. There are a lot of small companies, mom and pop shops, to where like it's a guy, I need to get him on the show, man, because he was in the music business and he's in cybersecurity now. And I need to just message him, say, yo, I need to get you on here because you really be talking a lot of stuff, but you be doing it on the low. He was like, as simple as going into a small company and enabling DKIM for the email protections.
DKIM and SPF.
Email security right there. You can say like you did about
DMARC, DKIM, SPF.
You can say you did about 100 little small mom and pop shops. All you need to do is show that you got paid for something.
SPF?
SPF, DKIM.
I don't think it's SPF. Ain't SPF sunscreen?
It's SPF.
It is. Sender framework.
Yeah, look. I'll show you. DKIM, SPF, and DMARC.
What is SPF? Sender
policy framework.
There we go.
And DKIM is domain keys, identified mail.
And DMARC something
is domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance.
Yeah.
So, actually, for no type of
very niche
acronyms.
things, though. Very niche things, and so niche that you can get really good at it. And so niche, you'd be surprised by how many companies don't have those configured correctly, which means that their emails can easily be spoofed.
Facts. It happens all the time. All the time. All right, so let's get into one of the questions. Jacquees Joseph is 34, coming from a tech sales support project coordinator background in machine manufacturing and renewables, and they want to pivot into healthcare IT, as I want to work in the hospital but not be a nurse. Okay. That's kind of vague. So I think you need to figure out exactly what you want to do in healthcare IT. If you want to work at EHR or just do some regular IT stuff, I think that's where you got to start there. I have an older live stream about EHR stuff. I'm planning to try to get some more healthcare IT professionals on here to talk about that very thing, because it is kind of gatekept. But once you get in,
you in there,
like swimwear.
Isn't Epic one? Yeah, the system.
Epic, Cerna, and I don't know the other ones.
Epic has a fire office. Their headquarters is out.
It's in what, Wisconsin or something?
It's somewhere that you don't want to be.
Exactly.
It's somewhere that you don't want to be. But the office,
it can't be too far.
But the office is so nice. I seen it on TikTok. I was following some people who do that. You can get really good at the different Epic systems.
I beg your pardon.
Let's see. He said, amen on cybersecurity being a marketing term. And then they said offboarding is the biggest hindrance to an organizational information security. I had an internship 2 years ago and they still haven't rotated credentials to the account I use. Yikes.
That's a double yikes.
And he said, labbing and networking was the bread and butter for me. I finished my bachelor's in December and just landed my first role 7 months later. So hats off to you for that. Let me see what we got. Give you a little bit of round of applause, Walker Flocker. So shout out to you. You are next. Now, about what? I don't know.
All right. So Meta and AI in your camera roll. So if you have a public Instagram account, this segment is for you specifically. Pull your phone out. So Meta launched a new AI image tool called Muse Image. It lets people generate images, edit photos, even make ads, all inside the apps you already use. But here's the piece that lit the internet on fire. Muse Image lets users generate AI images using photos from public Instagram accounts. As long as your profile is public, another user can tag your account and pull your images into an AI-generated creation. Only private accounts and accounts belonging to users under 18 are automatically excluded. And you don't get notified. So somebody could be using your face, your photos right now, and you would not know. Now, this is the difference between public and consented to. A lot of us made our accounts public so people could find our work, follow our businesses, see our content, right? We are consenting to being seen. We did not consent to being ingredients. And so these are two very different agreements, and the internet is really trying to swap one for the other. Now, the concern here is not the hypothetical harassment, impersonation, non-consensual image editing. When you make it trivially easy to manipulate someone's likeness, people will manipulate someone's likeness. It's as simple as that. So here's what to do right now. 1, go to your Instagram profile, tap the 3 horizontal lines at the top in the right corner. Select sharing and reuse. Find the option that says allow people to create with and reuse your content. Toggle that off and do it for both posts and reels, both of them. So it's going to be 2 toggles, not 1. And that's it. It should take you about 30 seconds to get that done. Send that to your friends, send that to your group chat, anybody who you know has a public account on Instagram. But I do want to kind of name that pattern out loud, because the thing that I am seeing and I want you to walk away with is that the default is that they opted us in. They didn't opt us out. And that's the problem. Cool. This is a thing that you can choose to do. But why are you opting people in? Why are people not automatically being opted out and notified of such, occurrences? They didn't ask you. You have to actually go find that switch yourself and turn it off. And notice how often that is the design in which they do opt us into a lot of things. So, yeah, insane.
Yeah, it was funny too, because
and it's not specific to Meta.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is a Meta scenario, but this is happening industry wide. Google's AI training is opt out too, and we're seeing that just across other solutions.
Yeah, no. I think I want to say that so many people believe that they can do what they want to with your content because you posted it on a social media platform.
Yep.
And that's not true. There are certain things that you shouldn't be doing to it, or the platform itself feel like they can do what they want to with your stuff because you agreed to it, but people didn't agree to it and they didn't tell you to. Like, they need to, the more important thing, when you sign up for an app, it needs to be like if you got arrested, your Miranda rights, your app rights, your app rights. That's what we need. We need your app rights, and we need to figure out exactly what it's going to be talking about when we get on these apps. Let me see. And do you want to go ahead and just cover the EU and the scrolls, since that's kind of almost in line with what you're talking about?
Let's get it. All right. So the EU says the scroll is illegal. So stay with me on Meta for one more, because there's basically kind of 2 stories that are having a conversation with each other. So the European Commission just released preliminary findings that Facebook and Instagram's addictive design violates the Digital Services Act. Not concerns about. The Commission's preliminary finding is this is a violation of the law. The Digital Services Act, which is also known as the DSA, is the EU's big platform accountability law. It requires large platforms to actually assess and mitigate the risk their design creates for users. And large platform here means basically everybody you've heard of. The DSA has teeth, and we'll get to the number. Now, the investigation started in May 2024, focused on minors and addiction, and they zeroed in on the mechanics. So infinite scroll, autoplay, push notifications, hyper-personalized recommendation systems, and the Commission's findings were that Meta did not adequately assess the risk of its addictive design on the physical and mental well-being of users, including minors and vulnerable adults. And they went after the fixes too. Meta pointed to teen accounts, parental controls, screen time caps, and the Commission basically said, look, we looked and time management tools can be dismissed too easily, and the parental controls only work if the parent has technical expertise or the time to learn them. They clocked them. Think about which parents that leaves out. Think about which communities that leaves out. Meta disagrees, obviously, with the findings, and they're saying that the Commission didn't account for the significant steps it's taken since the investigation began. They can contest this. They can review the evidence file. Obviously, this isn't over, but what the EU says the fix looks like: disable autoplay and infinite scroll by default, add screen time breaks, make the algorithm less optimized for engagement. They basically want to turn off the scroll. And the number, if the findings get confirmed, up to 6% of total annual global turnover, not profit turnover. revenue.
I don't see them agreeing to all
They're
that.
not.
Because
They're not.
the whole...
They have, I won't say they've done enough, but they have taken steps to try to, and it's really hard to put all of that weight and pressure on them to...
Is it, that's the question. Is it really on them to...
I mean, yes,
so
to an extent.
So I got okay. Now this is not a one-to-one, but you know who they don't do this to?
Who?
Big Pharma. Hey, they try to do something with the opioids, but your opioids are too addictive. You need to make them less addictive.
Mm-hmm.
Your app is too addictive, which is doing what it's supposed to do. Hey, I want to keep you in the app. I want you to keep scrolling. And why is it just Meta that they're doing this to? Because you can stay on... No,
I'm with you 1,000%.
You can stay on TikTok forever.
What? I was about to take it to TikTok because TikTok definitely be having me scrolling before I know it. It's been all day.
Yeah, so I really believe it's more so on a person. You should put it down. Now, here's the real issue.
No, I will say, though, I do think that we should, our phones, because we're on them a lot, I do think that there should be like, you've been on your phone for too long, you need to take a break. And if you can't take a break right now, you're going to take a break in 10 minutes, just how your computer will do when it's time to shut down and, it's a forced situation. I do think that's
what I got the awareness apps for.
But I don't think that's optional.
Yeah, but I don't know, because this is like...
Because then we're just so free here. Because then we're going to have the argument, oh, no, tell me what to do on my phone.
But is this more so for people or for kids?
Both.
Because
now kids are different. So if we're gonna,
that should be on the parents, because it's like,
I don't got the answers.
I think that should be like on the parents a bit, because
it 1,000%.
When you give it to them too long,
but a lot of parents don't understand the risk that is presented with their kids being glued to these technologies.
And speaking of, I still need to go see Toy Story 5.
I know. I seen a little boy on TikTok who put his tablet up after he watched it.
Yeah. That little one, Zelly, we definitely give her stuff for her sparingly, because she'll act like she is in a trance when she...
I don't like when kids do that. They literally can't hear you, think, breathe, eat. They can't, they freeze. And I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit like that with the game, but not as bad. Like, I don't know.
Turn on some Miss Rachel, turn on...
Now, all that stuff get people hooked. Let's see. We got enough people in here, but not the likes ain't liking.
Hit the like button.
Y'all gotta hit the like button. Hang on. Matter of fact,
let me not even do like button.
Matter of fact, let me do this.
Bruh, man, what's up, man? Bruh, man, need love too. One love.
Listen, y'all gotta hit that like button. Did you do one for us with the ID, the California, like, what's like 6 million IDs? Did you see that one?
I think so. I think it's at the bottom.
Okay, because I thought that was like interesting, because we just talked about the Texas vendor with the 3 million IDs, and now we got 6 million.
6 million is insane.
In California, like
6.99 million. It's it's on here.
Did you want to do it?
Yeah. All right. So insurance provider Assurance America confirmed a breach hitting 6.99 million people. So names, contact info, and driver license numbers. This is the largest known spill of American driver's license data this year. The timeline is the part that stings in this scenario. They discovered hackers in their systems March 17th. Investigation concluded June 15th. Notification letters going out July 10th. Let's do the math. So how did it start? The notice says hackers targeted one of the company's employees, and the company then disabled compromised. What? The notice says hackers targeted one of the company's employees, and the company then disabled compromised credentials. So stolen employee credentials again. A driver's license number is an identity anchor. It is not like a credit card that you can cancel. You can't rotate your license number. It's used to open accounts, verify identity, commit fraud in your name, and it follows you obviously for years. Now, Texas, we talked about this last week, lost 3 million licenses and passports in June. There have been leaks from a hotel check-in system, a money transfer app, a prison payphone provider, a UK visa service, all while governments push age verification laws that require more people to upload more ID documents to more websites. More ID collection, same security. That's the trend that we're seeing here. If you're affected, freeze your credit. We've talked about that before. But I think that the numbers are just why we not mad enough?
What can you do?
Nothing.
I think that you've talked about this before, but anybody that's been in the database class, you got a primary ID and then you got a child ID. We need to move from our
Primary.
We need to have like
A secondary child.
in a sense, socials and driver's license are kind of like primaries. They own primary IDs. Like they said, credit cards, we need child IDs that's linked to us that we can always switch that. Once it's switched, you can't use the information.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. Like if we so digital, we need to go ahead. Like what are the other? And I didn't look
We
this
need
up.
to see what the EU's doing. We need to
What is
just follow
China and
them.
them doing? Like stuff like this. Do they have like how do they protect identities? Like
Mhm.
But if you thought about looking that up, let me go ahead and play my ad real quick. Here you go. If you need somebody to protect your data. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points like the dark web and public court records to detect and alert you to potential identity theft. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also provide a bunch of other features to keep you safe online, all inside one app. You can go to my link right now, aura.com/textual chatter to try 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. I highly recommend you do this right now because not only is the national public data not going to do anything to help you, they probably aren't even going to face any repercussions for this leak. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches. If you don't want either, you can go to aura.com/textual chatter to try 2 weeks for free. Now back to the video. Henry, I guess he was talking about the iPad stuff or Meta when he said the parents are addicted to. His name was Henry McCants, and I wonder if he's related to Rashad McCants. I know you don't know who that is, but Rashad McCants is somebody. So let's have some fun with. Before we get some other stuff, let's do this. Where is the video? Well, not the link. It's the who's getting paid one.
Let's have some fun.
I thought I just saw that one. Where is it? Oh, what's the name of it? Oh, there we go. I thought about this fun topic because we are trying to see who's getting paid in 2026 and what can you look into. This is for the people who may be thinking about pivoting or just thinking about doing something else, but let's talk about it. Synetics, top 15 highest paying tech jobs in the US. This came from March 2026. This is your career segment, and this is where you build the most trust. Give the numbers, then give the truth. So let's talk about money because y'all always ask, and I'd rather give you the real answer than the comfortable one. There's a list of the highest paying tech jobs in the US right now, and I'm going to give you the numbers, and then I'm going to tell you what the list doesn't say, because if I just read a list, I wasted your time. So the top of the list is CTO, and I think this is actually kind of low.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, it's $180,000 to $250,000. Plus, then you have AI engineers, $160,000 to $210,000. Machine learning engineer, $155,000 to $200,000. I guess this is the averages or whatever. Cloud architect, $150,000 to $195,000. IT director, $150,000 to $200,000. Software engineering manager, and I don't know if this is all base or what. It doesn't tell me. Software engineering manager, this is definitely low. $150,000 to $190,000. Solutions architect, $145,000 to $180,000. Security engineers going $145,000 to $185,000. You got a data scientist, $140,000 to $180K.
That's super low.
I know. I think I don't know where they got these numbers from. SRE site reliability engineers, $140,000 to $180,000. Blockchain engineer, $140,000 to $175,000. DevOps is $135,000 to $170,000, and the product manager is $130,000 to $170,000. UI UX is 125 to 165, and the full stack developer, this is definitely like 120 to 155. Okay. Now, here's what I need you to understand about this list like this, and I want you to hear the love in this. Look what's actually at the top, and we just stated that we believe the CTO and IT director, in all those roles, we believe that they're lower because that thing can be way higher depending
It
on
can definitely be
where
way
you're working
higher.
at.
Yeah.
The money isn't knowing the tool. The money is in deciding which tool, leading the people who use it, and explaining the business why it matters. Communication is a technical skill. True. Honestly, I think a lot of stuff is depending on when you got into the job market. That's what I feel.
No, for real. That's facts.
It's only a certain amount of people that I work with that actually know their stuff versus people who just keep on getting another high level role because they did one previous, but they probably aren't good at it. That's just my opinion. So nobody walks into a $185,000 cybersecurity engineer role from a boot camp on Tuesday. These numbers represent people with experience, and the list quietly assumes that. Don't let a salary range make you feel behind. You're not behind, you're early. The list was written by a staffing agency, which is fine. The data is directionally useful, but understand the incentive. The article ends by telling you to work with a staffing agency. I always know who's holding the microphone. That's not a criticism. That's media literacy. And it's a skill I want every one of you to have. All right, so this is the one I really want you to hear. The whole episode, we just did a career map. AI, cloud, cybersecurity, data. Those are the 4 drivers this list names and why salaries are climbing. And every single story today lived in one of those 4 buckets: incident response, insider threat, privacy engineering, AI governance, hardware security. The news isn't separate from your career. The news is your career roadmap.
Clock it.
You just have to learn to read it that way. That's why we do this. And one more thing, the list gets right that people slip on. It says these jobs are no longer limited to Silicon Valley, finance, healthcare, legal, tech, government. The bank in your city needs a security engineer. The hospital needs one. The school district needs one. Stop waiting for a FANG offer to consider yourself in tech. I like that. Hang on.
Bro.
They got to wake it up. Wake it up.
What is wrong with you?
I have to get them to wake it up, man. For real. For real.
No, I agree with you with this breakdown. And I also think that it also highlights what may be hot and popping. I know for sure, I know a lot of data scientists and they make it well over 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get into the AI data, shout out to Kiera.
Shout out to Kiera.
Shout out to our data privacy people, Aaron Relford. I probably know somebody do almost all these different type of roles.
Yeah.
So that was me. I don't think that was you. But no, shout out to them. But let's see. We want to try to have a little fun. And
just a little bit.
We like to have fun. Let's see. Actually, this was interesting. We talk about money. We talk about getting paid. Let's talk about, I think this lady's a recruiter. I reacted to her a couple of times on the show. And she's talking about somebody who got their job offer rescinded.
Ooh.
Didn't I tell y'all that nothing is set in stone until you get an offer letter and you start your first day of work? Story time. I was offered a job 2 weeks ago. I've been waiting for the offer letter for 2 weeks, mainly because I was told that it would be a contract position. But then they decided that, you know what, let's make this a permanent position, which takes a little bit more time getting approvals. I said, fine, I've got time. I've got nothing but time. I get an email today asking if I can meet in an hour. Fine. I get dressed up. I do my hair. I take my bonnet off. Let's go. Let's do this. The meeting is titled Introduction. So I'm like, okay, cool. I met with the director at first, and now I'm meeting with the manager. So manager gets on, all smiles. I'm thinking like, hey, I'm meeting someone I'm working with, closely. So this is great. I have nothing prepared, nothing, no questions, no nothing. I'm just, just was going to keep it casual. I realized 5 minutes into this meeting that it's an interview. I'm being interviewed. And you know why? They gave my position to someone else internally. Yeah, somebody internally said, I want that job. And they gave it to them. So now they were interviewing me for another position. So now I'm confused. They're asking me a bunch of questions and I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah. all right, answer all the questions. They're asking me, do you have any questions? Nope, wasn't even prepared for questions, but I pulled some out of my ass just to further the conversation because I saw what was happening. And I didn't want to get off the call until I, was 100% sure. And if I needed to pivot into this role for a little bit, sure, whatever. So the hiring manager, the way he ends the call is he said, all right, cool. I will level set with the director and then we should have a decision by next week. Decision? I was already offered the job. I'm waiting for the offer letter. I thought you were calling with the details. Calling about benefits, calling about start date, calling about background check. I didn't know I was still being interviewed and considered. He's like, oh yeah, we're still interviewing other candidates. And so, I should have an answer by next week. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So I get off that call the recruiter immediately and she's confused. She doesn't know what's going on. She said, this is not what was discussed. I will get back to you ASAP. Moral of the story, that is not your job until offer letter signed. First day, completed. All right?
I'm with her on the first day completed because you could still sign an offer letter and it.
Man, not only that, shoot, first 90 days.
That part.
Like they can,
because people get hired for roles and then a company will decide, you know what, we don't even need that role anymore.
Mm-hmm. You'll be there and be like, hold on, what's happening? They realize they didn't either scope the role correctly or you're just not performing to their standards, especially when you're on a contract.
Yep.
They'll hit you up, hey, sorry, man, we got to end your contract. You could be in the middle of eating a sandwich and you be like, hold on, why? Oh, because you ain't catching on fast enough or this or that. And it kind of goes back to whatever episode we talking about, or maybe I did it by myself when I was saying, like, once you get certain level of roles, you don't get a lot of training. Yeah, so it can go into that. But yeah, I tell people, even if you get an offer, keep interviewing. Even if you get a start date, keep interviewing. It ain't over till you get that equipment and work a couple of days.
Nah, for
And
real. And it's so sad that that's got to be what it is. It's so, if you're somebody who has anxiety and you struggling, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with your mental health, and that it's a shame you can't get an offer and just know I'm gonna start. And you can't even celebrate, you can't even be happy. You've been out of work for 8 months. You just got an opportunity. You can't even rejoice in the moment that it finally landed because your nerves are so bad. Am I really going to start? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt like that before. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's real. They ain't going to call back the next day and be like, you know what? We going with somebody else. I do hate when they try to do that little internal thing. Like, at least be transparent. I wouldn't even want to work for them though, because why would you at least not tell me, hey, they offer somebody internally the role, but they got another role open. Are you interested in interviewing?
And it makes the company look really sloppy.
Exactly. Let's actually have some more fun. This is something I came across. It's like 2 videos. It seemed like it could be a Reddit, but let's let her eat.
Storytime on how my coworker got fired. And before she left, she exposed the whole office. So this was the messiest day I ever worked, y'all. So my coworker had ended up getting called in the office or whatever. So she was in the office arguing with management. How I knew it was going to be messy because she'd been arguing with them all week long. So about 20 minutes later, she walked out with a box of stuff. So at this point, everybody knew she got fired. She could have just walked straight out the job, but instead she turned around and said, since everybody want to play with my job, let's tell the truth. So everybody heart beating, everybody looking around like, oh, here we go. So at this point, my manager jumped up and was like, don't do this. So I turned around and looked, was like, oh, too late. So at this time, she ended up pulling out a folder, y'all. I'm like, okay, here we go with this folder shit. So she opened up this folder and she looked at one manager and then she looked at the other manager and gonna say, so which one of y'all want me to expose y'all first? They all looked shocked, looked like they about to cry. She says, let's start with who been stealing overtime. Y'all, coming for part 2.
Coming for part 2 is sending me.
Hey, hello. She definitely.
We need part 2, HD.
We got part 2.
Storytime on.
It's not that one. I'm trying to remove that from the stage and remove from studio. Hey, we got part 2. You know, I like to leave the part 2 on here. Here we go.
When she had opened up that folder, I thought she was bluffing. but I was dead ass wrong. This girl pulled out screenshots, printed emails, timesheets, and pictures. Yeah, she was on one. So she looked at the manager and was like, yeah, you fired the wrong person. So the manager got up and got closer and he was trying to snatch the photo out of her hand. She snatched it back and she was like, don't touch my shit. Then she decided to point at the supervisor and say, so tell everybody how your favorite employee been clocking in at home while everybody been working these double shifts. His face dropped on the floor. Then she looked back at the manager and said, or should I tell everybody how your wife keep calling the front desk looking for you? So at this point, everybody's staring because they like literally furious. Like, what the fuck is really about to go on? Half of these people don't even want her to speak up because she know too much. Before he can even answer, his phone started ringing. When he looked at his phone, guess who it was? His wife. Everybody lost their shit. So everybody pretended like they had to go to the bathroom or something. They want to act like they ain't paying attention to what's really going on. So a lady had ended up walking in the front door, holding flowers, saying that she coming to surprise her husband for their anniversary. Comment for part 3.
What's wrong, Kevin? When I came down.
That's how he was when she came through. I don't think she had part 3 on there yet.
She probably didn't.
If y'all want part 3, let me know. Maybe I'll go find it. But I just thought that was pretty funny. I wanted to get up. It look like it's gonna rain.
It look like it's gonna throw down.
But let's see. Get on your smart glasses.
Let's get it, shouty. Okay. So y'all know I love my Meta glasses. They have gotten a lot of bad rap, I would say, over the last few months. Is it on here?
Yes, on there.
Okay, let me find it.
I found it. It's Sigma 5.
The smart glasses. All right. So the smart glasses that refuse to record you. Even Realities just dropped the G2 smart glasses, and they made a choice that I think is genuinely interesting. No camera, no speakers, on purpose. While Meta, Snap, and everybody else is racing to put a camera on your face, this company said, nah, we're a productivity device. The people around you shouldn't have to wonder if they're being filmed, and that's the pitch. And honestly, that's going to work well with a lot of folks who take that stance. Now, what you get instead is a monochrome heads-up display, text in green, kind of a neon sign look that you can actually see in any lighting. It's 1200 nits, 60 hertz refresh, 75% bigger display than the last version, 4 microphones, 35 grams, magnesium alloy frame, titanium templates, 2-day battery, and a case that recharges them 7 times over. The features: live translation, turn-by-turn navigation on the display, a teleprompter, to-do list, a thing called Conversate, which listens to a meeting and pops up little explainer bubbles for concepts as they come up. The reviewer said during an energy briefing, it popped a bubble for green hydrogen. He tapped it and got a definition right in his field of view. That's actually kind of amazing. And a real-time education layer over your life. Now, the review is honest about the rough edges. The AI assistant misheard commands outside despite 4 mics. Navigation doesn't work with Google or Apple Maps. You have to use their app, and the addresses were often wrong. The companion ring cost $249, and the reviewer said, skip it. The glasses are $599. The company just hit a $1 billion valuation, so obviously somebody does believe in the camera-free bet. But I think every piece of face-worn tech is a consent negotiation with everyone in the room. You're not the only person affected by what you put on your head. When I'm talking to you and you're wearing a camera, I'm now in your data pipeline, and some folks have never agreed to that. So even Reality's whole bet is that there's a market for tech that respects the person you're talking to, not just the person wearing it. It's the same argument that we made about Instagram. Consent isn't just about you, it's about everyone in frame. And I really hate that the Meta glasses got that bad rep of because there was a video of a guy who had jailbroken them, and he was walking up to people. What is the word that he was doing?
He was Pretty much he was
it's not social engineering. He was doxing. He was doxing people. He was doxing people in person. And he would like walk up to somebody, and whatever he did with the technology, it was pulling them up on different
people
forms.
from Harvard that did that plugin?
I think
or something
so.
like that?
Yeah. And so I hate that it has that bad rep. I think because the truth of the matter is that these are still glasses. So some people do have their prescription in these glasses. And I think there was a lady who went to get a intimate wax, and the waxer had on the Meta glasses, and she was uncomfortable. And so it's just stuff like that. Like
that's why I think these would be better for that.
It's a real fine line between it.
Yeah. I don't know. That seems cool.
But Meta did just release an update where if you tamper, I think with the light or the camera, something with the light that has to do with the camera, because when you're recording on the Meta glasses, there should be a light on this side that you can see someone's recording. But they just released an update that I guess will.
Can you just put tape over it?
There are. I did see on TikTok that there were some stickers that you could put over it, but I don't know if you alter it, I don't know if it's. I don't know, but they released the update to basically disable the glasses if you are trying to alter the camera.
Yeah.
Or cover it or something like that.
Nah, but I don't know. That's very interesting. I like that. I mean, granted, it's not the best concept yet, but a company that's valued at $1 billion could be something that you could probably get in on and try to invest in or something and make some money with, for sure. Let me see. You covered. What didn't we cover?
There's one at the bottom.
Oh, let's have fun. Disney Plus for free. I got it.
Let's talk about
I've been reading a lot. And I thought it was pretty cool because everybody wants to cut cables, but now people are thinking about going back to just doing piracy because you spending more with streaming apps.
Piracy is sending me.
You are though.
No, you're right. You're
spending more with all these different streaming apps versus just downloading yourself.
Literally.
And then now they got.
I'm spread across all the apps.
They got the innate password management. Hey, this ain't where you normally watch it at. You're gonna have to put this code in,
and they doing too much. You getting your money while you tripping.
Because they not getting their money. People just signing up and then not signing up. They leaving the app entirely. Per Business Insider, Disney is reportedly weighing a free tier Disney Plus. Their chief product and technology officer, Adam Smith, hinted at it in the town hall. No specifics on timing or scope. It's a play against young people going to YouTube for free. Netflix has no free tier. Prime Video requires Prime. Apple lets you watch select premieres. Disney will be first. Context. Disney launched vertical videos this year, short form TikTok style. It's easy to imagine that living on a free tier. I think Prime got that now too in the app. Free in the streaming means ad supported, and ad supported means data supported. The price of a free tier is your viewing behavior, your device graph, your attention, packaged and sold. And notice where we started today, the EU calling engagement optimized design a legal violation. Now here's a free tier optimized for engagement aimed at young people. Those two stories are shaking hands and nobody's watching. Nothing wrong with the free tier. Just know what free costs. And honestly, they're just trying to get in on the market that Tubi got.
Tubi getting down.
Facts.
Tubi.
When they said something about the your stuff package, I thought about signed, sealed, delivered.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Let me see. I'm trying to see that that's something that we didn't cover.
Oh, the one that was protected. The BBB.
I took that one off. The Cash App joint. I don't know if you put that on there.
Cash App.
Ride with Nina.
No, Nina. No, I'm smoking on Keisha. Hey, can I meet you?
Prescription shouldn't be an option. I disagree. I think it should be an option, especially with the Meta Ray-Bans. Free bands.
They're glasses. Why wouldn't prescription be an option?
Ooh, we got a voicemail.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. You should be able to hear this. Let me see if I got it turned up all the way. All right. Let me do this real quick.
We're smoking on Keisha. All right.
We can
Get into the live chat.
Here we go. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you should be able to hear this. You hear? Hang on. I think we can hear, but I don't know if they can hear because I'm not seeing. Let me do something. I don't see the people. Okay. Hey, tell me real quick in the chat if y'all can hear it. I'm trying to make sure that it's not just coming through for us. That's pretty smart workaround. He said face scrambling.
I like that idea, Mac.
Yeah, face scrambling should be enabled by default when recording. That's smart. But hey, I'm going to replay this voicemail. I want y'all to let me know if y'all can hear it. If not, I will try to just play it from the phone. So let's go. I don't think they can hear. I don't think they can hear it. The only way, well, you in the background. I know what I'm gonna do.
What?
Let me see if they got a thing that lets us play audio. Bear with me, y'all. Video file. Image file. Okay, no. Because yeah, I don't think they can hear it. Yeah, they couldn't hear it. That's what I thought. All right. So I think that's in my download. So I don't want to open it like that. Let's open it QuickTime. Give me a quick second, y'all, and I got y'all.
While you're working on that.
No, I got it now. I just gotta get to how I can share it on the screen.
It do look rough out here. I'm scared.
Here we go. All right, they should be able to hear this. Also share system audio. There we go.
So I'm currently in my master's program.
You know, I don't think it's not sharing. Or is it sharing? This is really killing me. Because it's here, but it's not telling me. So let me do this workaround real quick.
Are you caught up on the Shy?
Mm-hmm. Here we go. It's playing, but I gotta change the output.
You made us little.
Dude is talking. It's just saying.
Whatever you just did is echo.
Yeah, I know it's echoing. He's playing, but it's let me put it on back on window. They're like, man, what's going on? QuickTime. Okay, there we go. Now let's try.
Through Capella that's focusing on networking and cloud, and it does come with having to do a project and finish with 2 like capstone project courses. I'm currently working on a net operations AI type of command center that kind of combines all the tools in one, but I also have the ability to plug in a LLM agent and kind of go through the process of controlling the command center, which the command center it controls, like it has guardrails before it makes any type of automation changes or even just troubleshooting based off network statuses. That's one of the projects I'm going full in with all my capstone classes, and it involves several tools. My thing is I'm right now currently on the contract with Apex Systems for Centene, which is the control administrator. I was wondering, once my contract is up in April, I graduate like a month before, if not extended or
Okay, so
Did you hear what he said?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on you because I gotta go back to and read what he said.
Okay, so I don't think that this current economy is an economy where you should deny or reject anything if you don't have anything lined up. Now, if you reject them and you don't have anything lined up, where does that leave you? I would say use them for as much as you can while you're there. And if you still feel like that's a low offer and you feel like you deserve more, then continue to pursue that. But right now, folks are just having a hard time landing roles. I don't subscribe to the ministry of quit now, figure it out later in this economy. So that's my take on it. I do think if you think you're worth more, your skill set aligns better with more pay and or a different role, then you should absolutely positively go after that. But keep something on the back burner, in the meantime, so that you still have that income, the insurance, the benefits, the things that you need to kind of keep you afloat. That's my take on it. Yeah.
Okay. So I read the end part is I think if he don't have nothing lined up, I don't think he should quit. But he does seem overqualified for the role. And also, he was saying how now he seemed like it's towards the end where they're not answering them and all this other stuff. So it's a possibility they maybe don't even extend it. But what he's working on the master's program seems really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he said how much he was making, so he's not making as much as he want to make anyway. I would start right now, leveraging what you do now, leveraging that project you went all the way in with the AI guardrails, and start looking at some maybe entry-level AI roles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I mean, I think you're already getting the experience. So why not? Why not go all in?
Believe in yourself.
So that's how I feel about that one, young sir.
Yeah, and thanks for being one to leave a voicemail.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I put it everywhere, and people act like they scared to talk. I gave
but they be DMing us. I'll be like,
right.
I'd be like, leave it here. Put that question in the voicemail.
And also, guys, if you don't want nobody hear how you talk, our email for our group mailbox is in the description. You can send us something there anytime, and we can check it out as well.
Yep.
Especially if you want to partner on something. Now, I think we covered all the cool stuff. I think we got a couple of more fun things to actually look at. So give me a second.
We talked about something, and I'm totally blanking on what it was.
Was it before we?
It was before we started recording, but I don't remember what the freak it was. It was good too.
What was it about? You really can't remember?
Because you was like, that would be a good something to talk about.
Oh, you talking about the AI dead celebrities?
Yeah.
Kendrick, we need you. The West Coast savior. They were like, what is this boy talking about?
Oh, he actually just said thanks.
Yeah, I knew that was him.
Cool.
Now, this was another one said people don't trust HR.
So I keep getting comments like this, and it's like it's par for the course, right? People don't trust HR. But I get it enough, and I know that a lot of my colleagues in HR get it enough.
That's quite odd. And it's turned all the way up on her thing. Let me double check something.
Is it still hooked up to the voicemail thing? Because that's in the middle of the screen.
Well, I took that down. Yeah, I took both of them off. This is odd. It should be
enough that I feel like it's important to let y'all know what
It's
we
not
actually
mute or
do,
nothing.
because I think that y'all don't really understand HR's role in an organization. So
Okay. All right, y'all give me a second. I know how to do this. Since y'all know I've been doing all the freaking reactions. Where are we? Here we go. Because I really want to hear what she had to say. All right, there we go. Now we got the Windows capture. Okay, now let's do this.
So I keep getting comments like this, and it's par for the course, right? People don't trust HR. But I get it enough, and I know that a lot of my colleagues in HR get it enough that I feel like it's important to let y'all know what we actually do, because I think that y'all don't really understand HR's role in an organization. So I see our role, and I'm primarily talking about generalists, people who deal with the employees, because there's all types of functions in HR. I see our role as facilitating a workplace that is fair, productive, and legally compliant, okay? And our role is primarily consultative. We do not have direct decision-making authority over any employee's livelihood or work unless we supervise them, okay? So that's important, because the thing about what y'all are missing when you make these comments is that all the decisions that happen that are coming from HR are really your supervisors and your leaders and your managers who are making those decisions and telling HR, how can we do this in a way that is fair, legally compliant, and productive, okay? So there is something I think bigger in the atmosphere where in our society where there has been a division where HR is the scapegoat, and it's really not true. So many times a manager comes to us and says, this is what I want to do. And many times our role is like, well, wait. Like, if you do this, here are the risks that are going to come. You know, a lot of us, if you have influence and power, we can push back and say, that is not going to be good. This is the consequence that you're going to have. Please don't do this. Let's bring in employment counsel so you can find out how this could be bad. But those who don't have that influence are just directed by senior leadership to do what they have asked and to do it in a way that protects the company. So if you want to hate us, that's fine. But what I think it really does is really make sure distrust of HR is really a misdirection of where your distrust should be, which is with your supervisors and your leaders. And by just calling us out is really giving a cover to the supervisors and the leaders who are making really, really poor decisions and ignores the role that HR plays to try to stop that stuff from happening. Okay, so you can say what you want to say. I know there's lots of bad apples out here, but the same is true about any function. And so it's just frankly annoying, but hey, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do.
Clock us, sister.
No, she's right though. She is right. And I can attest to that of having HR actually help me out on stuff that I didn't even do anything wrong on. Mm-hmm. So HR will have your back as long as you are following the rules. Only you can prevent forest fires. I don't know what I was gonna say right there. We didn't have to cash out one. And let me double check, because I really feel like it was something I put on there that we were supposed to talk about. But while I'm still here, I will tell people, like I said in the beginning, companies are still on-prem, learn the cloud, pick your poison, AWS, Azure, GCP, and all the other subsequently cloud platforms there are. And also know what you don't know. Know what you don't know. Please don't think just certain up is going to get you where you want to get to.
Especially if you don't really know the material and you're just taking it to pass it and you're using brain dumps to cheat.
That part too, but not even only that. Like you said, people get all these certs, and like at first maybe
you'll get in the interview and can't even talk.
Before you even get to the interview, at first you had certs that say, okay, cool, this person want to work in the SOC. Now you got all these other certs that's not directly. So, they want that's like network engineer certs.
And testing all over the place.
Yeah, so it's not even aligning with, you're thinking that you're accomplishing something, what you are, but what you're doing on your resume is confusing the ATS that is looking at it and like, we don't think this person will be a good fit. They got skills that's not relevant to the role. And so that's one of the things. And more certs doesn't really means that. It just means that if they're not practical, it means you paid the money, you study, and you pass, but that's about it. If you redid your resume, got certed up, put it in 17,000 LLMs, and they still ain't calling you back, that means there is an issue with the stuff that you're doing. And no matter what is confirming your bias, you may need a human in the loop to tell you that That ain't it, Chief. That's what you need. A human in the loop.
I'm leaving the folks with data security is very important right now. So, in your organization, ask them, what are we doing to keep our data secure? Mm-hmm. Can I look at the data loss prevention policies? And that's what I do. I do data security. It's popping right now. AI is keeping me employed. So shout out to it.
Yeah. Everybody's talking about AI. I mean, even we talk about that anytime. Here's a cheat code, guys. If you are a person who makes content or you got a brand and you start doing stuff where you're doing things with companies that are in that space, now when you apply to jobs and you get hit back, you can tell the recruiter, hey, I just did this talk with so-and-so. Check it out. That's all I've been doing. All these different roles I've applied to, where that's like either managerial or IC related, but they're asking about AI. I say, hey, go check out this webinar I just did with Profit and see if you like how I talk about AI here. Mm-hmm. Any type of way you can separate yourself.
And again, that's using it to your advantage.
Yeah. And companies like to feel like they got the person. It's like dating. I got her. I got him. So companies like to feel like they got that steal.
Yeah.
So help them realize that you are a steal and seal the deal. Before we get out of here, you said we forgot to do.
Oh God.
The spelling bee.
Let me get some words. You got words already?
I could just type in cyber spelling words. Because I forgot that we could have did this when we were doing it. But I think that's too loud. I'm going to turn the volume down. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do every time it's time for us to spell real quick, and then we get out of here.
Okay. I'm working on it. Hurry up.
Okay. I got the first one for you.
Oh, God.
What did I do last time? Firewall.
FIREWALL.
Okay.
I'm going to give you simulation.
SIMULATION.
Okay, round one. Now intermediate.
Let's see. I kind of gave some of these already. Try to look at something that. Okay, I guess I'll say continuity.
Ooh, why would you play with me like that? CONTINUITY.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did that. Symmetric.
SIMMETRIC.
Say that again.
SY.
Okay.
MMETRIC.
Yeah. You said SI.
I said SY.
You said I.
It sounded like I.
Okay. That was good. But now we got expert level. One more round.
Let's see. I don't think the hard thing is like some of these they're just longer, but they're not.
Oh, I got a good one. I'm finna cook you with this one.
You probably will. Like they aren't like hard, they're just longer words. So I'm trying to see if there's anyone on here that's tough. It's really not. Let me see if I can find something else that'll give me. Okay. Because it gets to the point where you got to put the words together because they're like.
I got my word.
I'm gonna just do one. It's not even hard, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Compartmentalization.
COMPARTMENTALIZATION.
Mentalization.
Mhm.
Your girl can spell Kerberos. Spell Kerberos.
Kerberos.
Okay, so we ain't got no winner today.
I've been seeing Kerberos for years, so
I
that's
know.
one muscle memory I would never had to guess about that one. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I think we got to everything. If you're watching this on the replay, I mentioned us starting to possibly go live on Patreon. Now, with that being said, if we go live on Patreon, $2 to subscribe, but it'll be much funner than this because we will be unrestricted. So that's something we are planning to do. We'll plan on up to the date when we'll actually go live on Patreon. And hopefully y'all come join us on there and kick it with us. And then everybody else better watch the replay uploaded on YouTube. But until next time, it's your boy HD.
And Cybershortieee.
And before we go, I got to tell you one more time.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button and we out here. Until next time, we out. Peace.